Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today the sky is gray and we are most definitely California dreaming as the Viper playing as the Incas in blue gets ready to take on Daniel playing as the Tatars in red. Now while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings with adorable goats and scouts and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we are going to be watching today. Now, the Incas are the quintessential counter-civilization. Is your opponent going cavalry, as perhaps the Tatars are wont to do? Well, then the Incas can rely on their first unique unit, the Kamayuk, a ranged infantry unit that carries a ridiculously long spear and therefore comes with a massive attack bonus against cavalry units. Now, is your opponent going infantry? Well, then you can rely on your second unique unit, the Slinger. This is an archer unit that comes with a big attack bonus against infantry and which can be upgraded to get a small +1 attack boost. Now, will your opponent go archers of any kind? Well, the Incas can rely on their skirmishers, which not only get all archery range, blacksmith, and university upgrades, but can also be upgraded to have no minimum range at all, which does remove one of their biggest weaknesses. Now, to help their army last longer on the battlefield, no, the Incas don't get Viagra. What they get is an upgrade that allows their Kamayuk, Slingers, and Eagle Warriors to get extra melee and pierce armor. That'll help them build and support their military-industrial complex. Incan military units do cost less and less food as the game goes on, starting with 10% off in Dark Age and all the way up to 25% off in Imperial. The Incas also start, if you noticed, beneath the town center with a free llama, which may not sound like much, but it does give you an extra unit to explore the map with, in addition to 100 free food. Their buildings cost 15% less stone. Their houses support 10 population space instead of the usual 5, which is why you saw the Viper plop down one house compared to the standard 2-house construction opening. And by the way, that also allows them to use a little bit of extra wood for additional infrastructure, perhaps military units in the early stages of the game when wood becomes, or rather is, very, very important. Now, the villagers are also harder to raid because starting in Castle Age, they benefit from all infantry blacksmith upgrades. And by the way, if you take a look at the top left of your screen, you'll see the Incas, they actually get all infantry blacksmith upgrades, which makes their villagers potentially a little bit tankier. Now, taking a look at the top right of our screen, we've got Daniel playing as the Tatars, a civ that does whatever it possibly can to push you towards mounted units. Their cav archers come with extra line of sight. They get Parthian tactics and thumb ring for free. Is it going to be a clean pull? Oh, right at the end, he had to take a tusk to the butt and take down 7 HP. As I was saying, they get Parthian tactics, they get thumb ring for free. Some of their mounted units, such as their scout line units, their step lancers, their cav archers, can all be upgraded to get extra armor. And their first unique unit is the Keshik, a medium cavalry unit that actually generates gold every time it pokes and prods an opponent. Now, this can be very, very useful in the late stages of the game when gold becomes more and more scarce, making a Keshik, no pun intended, worth its weight in gold. Now, once your army is out on the battlefield, very important for the Tatars. I'm taking a look for some high ground. There you go. Very important for the Tatars to take the high ground because instead of the usual 25% damage that happens in Age of Empires, the Tatars deal 50% more damage when they fight downhill. This becomes even more important in the super duper late stages of the game when Trebs start coming out because the Tatars can upgrade their Trebs to have extra range. A fully capped out, maxed out, upgraded Tatar Treb, by the way, 19 frickin' range. Now, in order to help feed a big, hungry cavalry-based army, Tatar herdables do contain 50% more food. I'm looking at you, Mr. Billy Goat. And starting in Castle Age, every new town center does spawn 2 sheep for free, which is basically about 300 food free for every town center that is constructed. Not a bad deal if you ask me. So we've got a interesting matchup of civilizations that both have unique upgrades adding armor to certain units, and never ever discount the Eagle Warrior. And then one civilization starts with a little bit of extra food. The other civilization, if we see more than a one town center play, we'll see some extra food for them as well. And I believe that's primarily where the similarities end. Not that those are very earth-shattering similarities. Looks like the Viper has already discovered where his opponent is. Has Daniel done the same? Not quite yet, as the scout should discover by the time I finish the sentence, or maybe even by the time I start the sentence. Now he sees a barracks and sees a rug. And if you know anything about Age of Empires, you know that there should now be 5 rugs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rugs. It was very important for the developers 3 or 4 patches ago to add an extra rug. Don't ask me why, but now every Arabia map, I should say not all Arabia maps come with rugs, but those that do, there are now going to be 5. Oh, Daniel's trying to play some shenanigans with goats. Did he kill the goat? I think he killed the goat. Oh my god. Oh my god. Gentleman's fisticuff agreement has been thrown out the window as Daniel pulls a very risky maneuver here, sending his scout underneath the town center, killing the goat. I mean, that's about as annoying as you can. That basically knocks the Incas down to where every other civilization is. I should say other generic civilizations, not looking at you Lithuanians, not looking at you Chinese, not looking at you any civilizations that start with plus or minus food like the Persians. But that was very cheeky. Daniel pulling out all the stops to try to get the Viper. I thought he was just going to try to steal the goat, but nuh-uh. This scout. Oh, and the Viper exacts his revenge. No, he does not. He tries to, but does not. Action already starting. I want to take a look at the bases, see where the players are and where the resources are. Viper has both his primary resources in the back, nice and secure. Additional forests in a decent triangle shape, not terrible actually, even though the forward one is kind of thin. So some archers from our Tatar will have a field day laming that forest, but the Viper does have 2 in the rear, kind of small. No? Yeah, I feel like these are very tiny chicklet forests, we'll call them, as Daniel is, I mean, he's being so freaking aggressive right now. He is getting walled out. I'm trying to click. Yeah, it's a palisade wall that's keeping him out. Where are the Viper's additional resources? A bit of extra gold to the top left, and his stone looks like it's very far forward. So will be interesting to see how the Viper defends against this absolute crazy aggression. A 4th scout being mixed in, a random villager just kind of standing around. Is she bait? I want to take a look at Daniel's base, but Daniel's not giving me an opportunity. He is just here. He is aggressive. Now there's multiple attacks. Although the 4 scouts inside the Viper's base are running away. The Viper now is ahead in army count, and it's better army count, period. Let's take a look at the Tatar base real quick. Primary gold to the front, primary stone to the back. Forests also 3. I feel like some of these forests are a little bit bigger than the Vipers. Okay, it looked like the villagers were attacking the mill there for a second. This is a lot of scouts, though. And 1 scout is keeping the Viper's army here to the back. And the Viper gets the first kill, but loses a villager for it. Another kill, another villager. All of a sudden, we've got multiple kills. And down go 3 Incan villagers. That is a sour 1, 2, 3 loss there, but in exchange for 2 scouts. So in terms of immediacy, the food cost, obviously Daniel losing 10 extra food compared to the 150 that the Viper lost, but you can't really do that kind of comparison. You have to factor in all of the resources that the Viper would have gathered with those 3 villagers from the 14-minute mark onwards. Lion bites the dust. Okay, anyway, let's take a very quick look. Daniel also has both of his additional golds off to the same side. His secondary stone, though, nice and secure off to the side. I'm not sure the Viper's even gonna have seen this. Yeah, exactly. He hasn't even seen this. Looks like some kind of wall off is being attempted here by Daniel, who only has 87 wood. And that was about as interesting an opening as we have seen lately. I don't mind this at all, from the goat laming to the random 3 villager kills here from our Tatar, who is now ahead 5 villagers. The Viper's town center idle time is growing. What is happening is, why is he, oh, he has no food. He's got 11 villagers on food. He's got absolutely no food. Our Viper's almost at a minute of idle time on his TC. Now he has 68. Okay, so now after a minute and 3 seconds, he begins training a villager. And let's see what happens here. These are just Eagle scouts at the moment. So even with 3 Pierce armor, they should do a good job against the skirmishers. Not so much against the regular scouts. So as always in Feudal Age, it really is a game of positioning. The spearmen are trying to catch the scouts are trying to catch the archers, the skirmishers are trying to catch the archers, everyone is trying to catch the skirmishers. And we'll see what this absolute unholy mess of a situation, how it ends up here. I mean, Daniel's army is 5 units bigger. He's still 5 villagers ahead. He's total 10 population ahead right now. And it is a Big 10. We're not talking 150 to 160. We're talking 36 to 49. That's 13. That's a 30-40% bigger civilization at the moment. And if Daniel allows it, our Tatar can just skyrocket out of here. That being said, when you're playing the Viper, you always got to be careful. I don't need to say anything about how good this player is. Although that being said, both of these players are amazing. We've seen some amazing games out of Daniel. I think it was at the end of last year when I was casting 2 or 3 of his games, if I'm not mistaken, that he just, he's a very strong player. Let's put it like that. And so for now, despite getting those first 3 villager kills, not much has happened economically. But Daniel is here. I mean, look at this. Look how calm the Viper is being. He's still gathering lumber with a few of these villagers, even though there's a whole bunch of skirmishers and scouts right up in his face, right up in his grill. But Daniel knows if he stops to attack the villagers, these eagles will close on the skirmishers, the archers will close on the scouts, the spearman will try to kill whatever he can, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Scout dies, spearman dies. No additional villager kills just yet. Potentially. Okay, there you go. A 4th villager kills, but kill. But that was not a cheap kill for our Tatar. Okay, he's backing away. I see 1 red dot here in the middle of the map. Looks like he wanted to reinforce. Maybe not. No, now he's starting to go up to Castle Age as our Tatar. He's just a little bit of food away. He is ahead 5 villagers still. But now he's down in army count. So the Viper defended quite well. The skirmishers are going to die to these eagles very, very quickly. The second the eagles can close. The second the eagles can close. Oh, but they're attacking from downhill. The lion gets activated. He is chasing the skirmisher, I believe. Yeah, he's chasing the skirmisher. And a bit of a train. Actually, let's follow this. This is a very interesting little train happening here as the eagles. I mean, the eagles will catch up to the skirmisher. Yeah, there you go. And look at this. The eagles have brought 2 lions together in a show of brotherly solidarity. And now the Viper is also heading up to Castle Age, a minute behind his opponent, but still not terrible. His idle time for his TC, 1.5 minutes. But Daniel's also been clawing up that idle time, going up to 1 minute himself. And let's see what he's got behind this as the players disengage. We've seen 2 stables in archery range. And the Viper's doing, again, a great job. The kill count is evening up little by little, death by death. It used to be very, very big. Now it is 16 to 23. As more spearmen patrolling the southern reaches of our Incan base will close in on those scouts. Let's take a look at what he's got. 3 barracks. So we're going to hopefully see a whole bunch of eagles out of our Inca. Now, I'm not going to lie. Everyone's got their preferences in terms of eagle warriors when we're talking about the meso civs. My preferences in order of, oh, that was so sour. Why didn't he pull this farmer to the south to build that second palisade gate? I don't know. That definitely would have trapped it. Daniel's running a bit of a gauntlet here. This is almost like Mangadai Madness or one of those speedrun games where you have to be very, very careful, like the Cobra Car race. That was absolutely crazy. The Viper's trying to close. Daniel's trying to escape. But as I was about to say, and agree, disagree, let me know what your thoughts are. But my favorite eagle is the Mayan. 100 HP on an eagle warrior makes it just so tanky. Second is the Aztec with the +4 attack, and then the fabric shields +1/+2 armor eagle of the Incas is my third favorite. But in 22 seconds, these scouts are going to grow up to be warriors. And then all of a sudden, they're in Castle Age, so their attack bonuses start coming in heavy. And that +2 cavalry is going to jump, I believe, to 4? 3. Okay. I got way too excited there. But their speed is now 1.15. They still can't catch up to these scouts. Why did the scouts turn around? Because they are now light cavalry units, and they think they can get the job done, and they are absolutely right. So some Castle Age armies already starting to come out, starting to fight one another. Knights, the order of the day for our Tatar, who is now ahead 7 villagers, but down half the army count. So the Viper here again, everything in Age of Empires is really like a trade-off. The fact that he's double the army count means that he's not really investing in his economy, while Daniel is continuing to train villagers. He's going up to 50. Viper isn't training any villagers at all. Both players sitting on one town center. Now he's lost another villager. Now he's going to lose potentially even more villagers. So the Viper here in the short to medium term will be able to pack a real punch, but he's got to go. He's got to get his ass to the other side of the map. Otherwise, the economy of his opponent, doesn't matter what civ you are, doesn't matter what features or bonuses you have. If one player is focusing zero energy on his economy like the Viper, look at this again. No villager being trained. Right as I say that, finally trains a villager, but now he's down 10 villagers, 9 villagers. If one player is going full on balls to the wall military and the other is doing a mix of military and economy, if the latter player can survive long enough, he will steamroll eventually right over the player who is ignoring his military. And that, in this particular game, is the Viper. Oh, the Knights fortuitously catch wind of this. There you go. Okay, I thought for a second they were going to run by. Will he get the convert? Probably not. There you go. But the Eagles are in. There's a whole bunch of them. 16. No attack upgrades. 1 armor upgrade. They're going for the high ground. High ground and bonus should be enough. We've seen Eagles destroy cavalry armies. And this army from Daniel, you know what? I think the Viper's running away because he's down about 20% of his HP. He does not want to take this battle. He doesn't want to risk losing the few precious Eagles that he's got. He's going up to 32 Eagles. Look at this. Never mind. It was a tactical retreat to try to bait Daniel into an army of... I mean, what do they fight with, the Eagle Warriors? Does anyone know? I'm assuming just a spear of some kind. That super cool round shield. That super cool outfit. I think I mentioned during a live stream that my wife and I discovered a new Mexican restaurant about 20 minutes away from us. And man, oh man, in addition to the food being just absolutely tasty AF, there is a big picture of an Eagle Warrior on the wall. And like an idiot, I did not take a photo of it, but I will. And I will post it onto my community post here. Daniel yet again poking in. I love the vision that he's getting. He's just constantly in and out of the Viper's base. The Viper's base is not walled off. Daniel's base is not walled off. But the Viper has made 0 attempts to bust his way in. Right now is the second after that first kind of attempt before the cavalry showed up and shoot him away. Whereas Daniel is just kind of wandering in and out, treating it like he's got a public easement, allowing him to ingress and egress all over the Viper's lands. And the Eagles move in, but this is only half the Eagle count. The other ones are up north attacking a town center that's under construction. Monk for our Tatar moving forward, so the Viper's got to be careful here. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't have the numbers with Eagles. Eagles need numbers, Eagles need positioning, and Eagles, most importantly, need frickin' upgrades right now. And the Viper's got to get the hell out of here. He can't stay here much longer. Daniel, 7 kills, 5 of them villagers for these light cavalry. So again, he's just coming in and out, willy-nilly, doing whatever the hell he wants, inside, outside the Viper's base. And look at this, the Viper finally managed to catch out a few cavalry units. And with the high ground, I mean, doesn't look like he got much. The Eagles do attack a little bit slower than I think a 2-second delay, the usual 2-second of cavalry. Of infantry, oh my goodness, versus the 1.8 of cavalry. The light cav also, I think 1.8, no 2. I thought that was good. I thought that was a 1.8 or a 1.9. Doesn't matter. Another band of Eagles, another convocation of Eagles getting absolutely destroyed here, and all of a sudden, the Viper's got to position his army into a different composition, perhaps. Yeah, okay, right as I say that, the pikeman upgrade. So he realizes that his opponent has gone heavy on the cavalry. The Viper needs... Okay, I was going to say Kameyuks, but he's got 0 stone. He's got 0 stone. He sold it to go up to the next stage. He's got 1 town center. Daniel finally got that 2nd town center, and there are those 2 free sheep right next to this. I just realized, what is this? Is that like a dinner table or a hearth or a blacksmith underneath here? A couple of ale rums, ale casks, rather. Monks are a good decision here, but not when there's light cav out on the field. 1 monk dies, 2 monks die, and now the light cav will get the hell out of here. So a perfect 200 gold get there for our Tatar. Although, okay. Fails to turn around, pays the price. The Eagles are back. Another town center stymied at 18.88%. As the Eagles are now in big enough number to attack a few knights, but the reinforcements, holy moly. Are the reinforcements going to be problematic for the Viper here? Looks like Daniel's still continuing with those knights that we saw a few seconds ago. Where the hell did these goats come from? What the hell? Did the Viper not collect those goats in the beginning of the game? What the hell is that? A few Feudal Age archers, some pikemen are all the Viper has here. One monk converting, gets the knight. Okay, so the Viper's army count is decent. Remember, with the weaker units on the whole, you really do need a numerical advantage, especially, again, when you don't have any kind of upgrades. And the Viper is slowly catching up to economy. He's up to 54 villagers. Daniel's at 59. But once the current production cycle ends, Daniel's going to be at 64 to the Viper's 55. Another monk gets surrounded. Another monk dies immediately to the light cav, who need 2 pokes, but they stuck around a little bit too long. Behind this, I see a few pikemen and villagers trying to kill the knights. Okay. The Viper's taking not terrible trades, but a mangonel, 2 mangonels show up. And look at the HP on this army. It's down 400 HP, 30% of its HP. And these guys, hello. I mean, you're not Frankish knights that have extra line of sight. What the hell are you just doing here, hanging out with your pet goats? Oh, what an adorable sound. And now the Viper is pivoting over here. He's finally got some villagers on stone. Daniel's got more, though. And he's only 100 stone away from getting a castle. He's got another town center up, another 2 free sheep, 300-ish food for our Tatar. Remember, their herdables come with about 50% more food. Is it exactly 50, or is it a little bit less than 50? It might be exactly 50. I might be thinking of, who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of another Civ who... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Monk's chasing a little bit too far, and even without ballistics, these Feudal Age archers finally do some good work, put in the work. But this army out of our Tatar is just... It's a third smaller than the Viper's army. But again, the Viper's army has no upgrades, and this is not going to be a good engagement for our Inca. It looks like the knights to the back of the Viper's base have finally been activated. Finally doing something, and oh no, those hero archers that killed the monks all lie dead on the battlefield. And we are gearing up towards a large, epic, climactic battle here. I mean, look at the villager count now, 81 to 53. He's ahead. I mean, that's almost 60% bigger economy. The Viper doesn't see the move out, will he? No, he does not. Oh no, he doesn't see that the army is moving. Are we gonna have a base trade of some kind here? Not very common in Age of Empires. The Viper discovers there's a castle at the top of a hill, has to get the hell out of here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, the Tatars show up. The Viper just needs 200 more stone. He can place a defensive castle. He doesn't even have the gold probably to buy the stone that he needs. And oh my god. Oh, that is just an absolute slaughter of Incan villagers. And the Viper, what is he doing? Why are you moving forward? You have 500 stone. Are you going to tower rush at the 40-minute mark of the game? Oh, and the Tatar's not even going to let him mine the stone. What the hell's the Viper going to do? Oh, there's 2 mangonels here. Okay, the Viper sold 100 food for 80 gold. I mean, no, 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 not like this. Not like this. Not like this. Not like this. Oh my god. And the Viper must be looking somewhere else. His entire army just died. Oh my god. This is, I mean, this is just a Age of, yeah, of course. This is just an Age of Empires player wet dream come true. This is 48 kills. 48 freaking kills. The Viper places one castle, unhappy with the location, places another. And no wonder he wasn't looking. Look at back home. He's got knights. He's got Tatar cav archers. He's got everything just in the middle of his base. 48 villager kills to 11. And the attack on the stone was absolutely epic. This is why I go over the location of resources. This is why location matters, because if you know your opponent is trying to castle drop you and you see 8 villagers, 10 villagers on stone, you attack the stone immediately. And that's exactly what our Tatar did. The Viper had to buy stone at the end there, but holy shit. I mean, we have to see that again. It's not every day the Viper gets pancaked like this. So they start the battle with 3 kills. I mean, we're gonna see this in picture, or have seen this in picture, and then maybe we'll go back and see this again. But I mean, not every day the Viper gets flattened like this, so we need to really see it. By the way, how cool is that dome on the Tatar Monastery? One of the most pretty structures in the game. Okay, so the Viper sold 100 food for 80 gold. Then he bought 100 stone, so he's at 607. So he still doesn't have enough stone for a castle. Okay, seconds into the battle, the Mangonels have gotten 18 kills. Oh my god! Oh my god! From 3 to 21, and where the hell did the Viper get that 100 stone from? Okay, he must have bought the stone. Anyway, I'm not gonna. Oh shit! Sorry. Okay, so I'll just watch. This is just I'm not even going to comment. The Viper places the castle. His eagles are blocking the construction site, idiots that they are. And now he's trying to place a second one, but now the pikemen are blocking the structures, and unbeknownst to him, these mangonels are just absolutely destroying. Oh. And the Viper didn't cancel the castle. The mangonels got it. Did you guys notice that? The castle is at 0.4. It's got 23 HP. The mangonels, were they shooting at the castle? No, they were shooting at the pikemen. The castle was collateral damage. And the Viper, because he had to wait for these stupid infantry units to get the hell out of the way, only started constructing it now at the worst possible time. And Daniel just lucks out with the timing of the attack of the mangonel, which it fires with a 6-second delay. And the Viper started building the castle basically at the 5-second mark of that 6-second delay. So literally a second in, Daniel wasn't even targeting the castle. He was targeting the pikemen. And the castle was collateral damage. Oh, things just absolutely, if anything could go wrong, everything went wrong for the Viper here. He loses his entire army here. He's got 9 eagles left. Look at the HP on this army. It's half of what it is. He loses all of the stone for the castle, which he spent all of his resources buying. Back home, he's being raided to death. And is it any surprise that such a psychologically damaging series of events, literally a 1-2-3 punch? 1, kill all the infantry. 2, inadvertently get the castle. 3, destroy the economy. And 1, 2, 3, and the Viper just says, what the actual hell can I do right now? This is just absolutely atrocious. And look at his villager count at the end of the day. So like I said, the Viper, because he neglected his economy early on to just get out more and more and more eagles, Daniel wisely avoiding an engagement with those eagles right up until the very end. I mean, look, if you were to ask me in the beginning, I would have said, let's see a massive battle between eagle warriors and knights. Well, maybe not at the beginning. I would have maybe towards the end, once he started pumping out a lot of knights, I would have said, okay, fine, knights, but let's see a big battle between eagles and knights. But this is a very close second in terms of what I would have wanted to see. Literally everything that could have gone wrong here went wrong for the Viper. The loss of the army, the loss of the castle in the stone, and the destruction of his economy back home. I mean, he's got 26 idle villagers out of 26 villagers. That is about as sour as you could possibly get. And the Viper just, he must have hung his shame. Hung or hanged? I never know the exact specific one to use, but he must have hung his head in shame after this happened, or maybe disbelief. Maybe he threw his hands up in disbelief, and just, wow, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong for the Viper there towards the end. And by the way, all in the matter of a blink of an eye. We've seen it more and more lately, literally within the blink of an eye. 23 seconds and all your Manaspas are gone. 2 minutes and your economy is gutted. 30 seconds and everything changes. And that is just when you're playing at such a high level, 2600 elo, you cannot let even a minute, a second of idle time for your brain, your eyeballs, and your hands to happen. And otherwise, this is what happens. The perfect storm of absolute shit knocks the Viper out. And let's take a look at the stats. 101 Eagles, 31 Knights. The Eagles definitely take this fight in a one-on-one. Look at the Viper with his Hera level APM towards the end of the game. Daniel also not terrible towards the middle of the game. The Tatar economy must be massively ahead, right? Yeah, okay, so what is that? 6,500 out of 2,300 is about... here we go. Isaac's shitty math. About 25% bigger economy? Yikes. And you know this lead is just going to grow and grow and grow if the game had continued. 2 conversions, 1 conversion is not exactly the end of the world. Our Tatar managed to knock down 1 structure to the 0 of the Incas and 3 times as many kills. I thought it was 48 at the end. Sometimes Capture Age doesn't. I don't know how the software works exactly, but I thought it was 48 a second ago. But now it says 47. 47, 48 doesn't really matter. It's literally 4 times more villager kills and 3 times more total kills than his opponent. And just again, with the absolute perfect storm of shit, the Viper just loses the stone, loses his army, and loses his economy all in the blink of a freaking eye. And this is what can happen in Age of Empires, and what an absolute fantastic demonstrative game of why, if you want to reach the top levels of Age of Empires, your micro, your APM, and your macro all have to be on point. And you just always, I mean, again, I'm not really faulting the Viper for this. This could have happened to anyone, because again, Daniel wasn't targeting the castle, he was targeting the pikemen. But if Daniel had targeted these eagles, for example, instead of these pikemen, the castle would have continued on its merry way to be constructed by 4 villagers. But no, Daniel targeted the pikemen right here in the middle. And so the blast radius knocked the castle down, 650 stone down the shitter. Army cut basically into bits. 45 kills in the last minute for these 2 mangonels. And the economy gutted, basically mean that the Viper has no more chance in this game. He realizes that, he taps out, lives to fight another day, and even the monk can't believe it. He's kind of walking around thinking, what the actual hell just happened here? And Daniel, our Tatar in red, takes the W. But what a fun, instructive game. GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.